On first encountering Nanpantan Hall, one might be surprised to find that the house is not as old as anticipated. This can be attributed to the area of the country in which it lies, on the northeastern extremity of Charnwood Forest, a unique landscape marked out by its ancient, rugged, rocky outcrops, steep valleys and woodland. The geology of Charnwood Forest is considered to be of international importance and contains a variety of wildlife habitats of national, regional and local importance, yet human settlement was limited until comparatively recent times. Knapped flints found in the walled garden at Nanpantan would indicate that the area was inhabited as far back as Neolithic times, and nearby Beacon Hill was the site of a Bronze Age hill fort. Yet in 1086 the Domesday Book recorded only one settlement in Charnwood Forest, namely the manor at Charley. Over time, villages such as Newtown Linford and Swithland began to develop in the valleys of the forest, but the uneven nature of the ground, along with the rocky outcrops and thin, acidic, stony soil, didn't lend itself to arable farming, and so settlement continued to be concentrated in the valleys and lower-lying land. The earliest reference to a building on the site of Nanpantan Hall refers to Mr. Warner's neat cottage, which was likely to have been built in the mid-19th century. In the 1870s, the Warner family, possibly thinking that such a wonderful setting was worthy of a larger dwelling, had Nanpantan Hall constructed. However, they chose to let the hall rather than live in it themselves. The Warner crest, a squirrel, can still be seen above the present entrance to the hall. In 1898, the hall was bought by another local family by the name of Paget. They already had two local residences, namely Southfields Hall and Sutton Bonington Hall, and Nanpantan Hall continued to be let until 1905, when William Edmund Paget moved in upon his marriage to Barbara Slingsby Hunter. Edmund and Barbara had two children, Joan, born in 1906, and Peter, born in 1908. Judging by family photographs, Joan and Peter enjoyed a happy childhood. Fortunately, as the family were keen photographers, we have a number of informal photos which give some indication of how their time was spent. Edmund and Barbara were keen members of the Quorn Hunt, which frequently met at Nanpantan Hall. Edmund was joint master from 1919 until his untimely death on the hunting field in 1928 at only 49 years of age. Whilst at boarding school, Peter formed a friendship with David Niven, who became a renowned actor. He and his sister visited Nanpantan Hall on a number of occasions, and in his autobiography he wrote, "Barbara was a garrulous, gossipy, enchanting, shop-talking fox huntress who rode side-saddle under a top hat and, along with the rest of the family, never could grasp the fact that Griselle and I were not actually afraid of horses. We were just too impecunious to hunt. We loved the Pagets." Barbara continued to live at Nanpantan Hall until her death in 1969. Her son Peter had died in 1944 during the Second World War at the age of 35. On Barbara's death, Joan, who never married, inherited the hall and the Paget estate, and continued to live on her own in the hall until her death in 1985. On Joan's death, the hall and 3,000-acre estate passed to a distant cousin, Joanna Herbert Stepney. Joanna can be seen in the centre of this photo, helping out with sheep dipping at home farm. Joanna had spent many happy days at Nanpantan Hall as a child, and has many vivid memories of those times. Although Joanna chose to sell the hall, she still retains oversight of the estate and its 11 farms. And so, in 1986, the stewardship of Nanpantan Hall passed to the School of Philosophy and Economic Science, an organisation of which Joanna was a member. This international organisation, founded in London in 1938, originally studied economics, but later also embraced the study of philosophy. Members are able to attend conferences and retreats at Nanpantan Hall, where the peace and serenity of the setting help enable the practices of mindfulness and meditation. The hall is also available to hire by outside organisations for residential courses and conferences, as well as for events and weddings. And so Nanpantan Hall, for long a mystery to the residents of Leicestershire, can now be visited during such events, and members of the public are able to explore and enjoy its glorious setting.